Hi everyone, this is Shelly with Shelly's Images, and today I want to show you this fun project that you can make to hold the letters to Santa that your kids write each year. I think this is a wonderful keepsake to have and something that would be so fun in the year's future to open up and look through as your kids grow up and maybe have kids of their own. We have a lot to show you in this project, so we're going to go ahead and get started right away. The first thing that we're going to need, what I used for mine, is the Crystal Light container. This is the container that holds the 2-quart mixes for the Crystal Light packets. And I'm always looking at plastic containers that we have and thinking of things that we can do to make fun things out of them. The first piece of paper that we're going to attach to this is a piece of paper that wraps all the way around. And this piece of paper is 6 inches by 8 1/8 inch. And the paper that I'm using today is from the Authentique paper company, and it's a paper, two-sided paper called Awe. And I like the two-sided because our container is just a little bit translucent, so we'll be able to see the pattern paper on the inside too. This first step is just a little bit difficult to get the paper perfectly wrapped around your container. And the easiest way I found to do it is just to put adhesive on one side, kind of center it on your plastic container. We want to make sure to stay down away from the lid a little bit so that we don't affect how our container is going to close. So I'm just going to kind of try to center it on here and eyeball where I want it to be. Once I get it all straight, I'm going to hook down that first side so you can see that we have it all straight. And now I'm going to open it back up and attach adhesive on the top and bottom edge as well as this far edge. Oops, that didn't attach. Why does my ATG gun always act up just when I have a video on? I think it's Murphy's Law. Okay. So now we can go ahead and wrap this all the way around and seal it on the edge here. And you can see that it matches up nicely for us in the back. Alright. We can also see on the inside now what I was talking about before, that that pattern paper shows up really pretty for us. Our next step is to decorate the top and the bottom pieces. And so we will actually have a template that we'll share with you so that you don't have to go through the process of trying to figure out the exact pattern for cutting this out. So you can visit our blog and find that template that we're sharing with you. And just attach some adhesive and we'll press the top on and flip it over and press the bottom on. And you can see on this part I'm using letting the green part, the opposite side of our paper, show through to give it some contrast. Alright, now we're ready to do that pretty rosette, the paper rosette that you see on the top of my project. And to do that, we're going to need a piece of paper that is 3/4 inch tall by 12 inches. And you can see that I've already scored mine every 1/4 inch. The Score Pal or the other score tools are wonderful for this. And then I've done the accordion fold all the way across my paper. Now, as you do this, you want to really make sure that you press those folds because that's going to help us with the rosette for this when we get to the next step. And inevitably, as you go through here, once or twice at least, it's going to do the jack-in-the-box thing and pop open and spray everywhere. So be ready for that. But once you get it all the way accordion folded, just make sure that you really press it and get those folds down. You're going to be happy that you did that as we get to this next step. Our next step is to attach these two ends, and you can find whatever end works best for you or wherever you want to attach it. It really doesn't make any difference. I'm going to go ahead and use a little piece of score tape, and I'm just going to attach it right there on that last little fold. I think that if you try not to make it too thick here, that also helps with the rosette as we go to the next step. So I've just got a little piece of score tape. I'll put the other end on it, and there we go. Because I have the green here, I want to have the music note side showing. So again, I found that the easiest thing to do is to try to get these folds back going again, but stand it up on end like this, and then begin to press it down and make your rosette. And once again, it's going to pop up on you a couple of times and misbehave for a while until you kind of get it pressed just the way that you want it. And once you do, push it in on all sides and really get it to hold so that you're ready for our next step. The way to hold this together is you can either circle punch a piece of paper or cut out a piece of paper. I'm going to turn mine over carefully and try not to let it get away from me. And we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue right to that center. Okay, like that. And then place our circle right in the middle. And while that glue is still wet, still hot, go ahead and press it again on all sides and make sure that you have it a nice circle formed all the way around. I hope that showed on the video and that you were able to see what I was doing. It's hard to hold it together and show you at the same time. So now we're ready to flip it over, and you can see our pretty rosette that we made. Our next step is the ribbon part, and to do that I'll show you the ribbon that I've sewn here. You just want to do kind of a long stitch along one edge of your ribbon. If you want to make a circle, this stitching that you do, you want to have along the edge. If you're making a straight decorative piece, you can stitch right down the middle for your gathering. And then you find the string that will allow you to start pulling. And so you just pull and pull until you get the circle that you want. And sometimes you need to move the thread down a little bit, just like you would feed anything else onto a wire or anything like that. So just keep pulling and keep adjusting until you get the nice circle of ribbon that you want. You do want to be real careful because it's possible to break this thread, and then you have to start all over again, which is not always fun. So I've got one here that I've started and kind of fiddled with already, and you can see, if I get all these ribbons, all these threads out of the way, you can kind of see my ribbon circle there. So I'm ready to cut it here. And I'm going to cut off this extra edge here just a little bit too. And I like to just hot glue this together as well. So I just fold one side down and bring the other side up and fold it so there's kind of not any raw edges of the ribbon showing. And then hot glue it there. And as you do this, you'll have more time to fiddle with it and kind of make it perfect and beautiful. But for the video, I'm just going to go with it here. Okay. Get rid of this extra little thread here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So now we're ready to hot glue that onto the top of our rosette as well. I'll put a little dab of glue there and add our rosette to the top. And our last little decorative piece for this is a little brad. I'm using these cute Anna Griffin brads that I found. I've got some hot glue on my ribbon there. And I found that I don't have a lot of extra space on the top, so I like to use my wire cutters and cut off a little bit of that brad. Since we're not going through paper here, we're really just using it as a decorative piece on the top. We can cut some of those legs off and make it sit down here prettier for us. So I'm going to add again another little bit of hot glue and press our brad right in the center of that. And then this piece just hot glues on the top, and you can use your little circle that you've already made. I have hot glue strings everywhere to press it on the top like that. And so you can see, if you take some time to really get your ribbon all perfect, you have a beautiful little rosette on the top to decorate your package. So now we're ready for our image, and I've got the image ready to go because I don't want you to have to watch how I attach it to the little mats that we've done here. I think you've done that a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and run adhesive down the center of my image and attach it to the front here like this. On the one that I did to show you on the example, I've actually used score tape to go around the edge of his glasses and then embossed it with gold embossing and heated it just like you would any other embossing, and it kind of gives it this nice little ridge that you can see. And after I finished that, I used the glossy accents and filled in his glasses to give the shiny effect of the glasses lenses. Maybe at some point I'll do a video just on how I use the score tape like that, but basically you just take a piece of score tape, if I can find the end here, and take kind of a length of it, peel it off of the backing so that you just have just the strip of tape in your hands. And then you just stretch it and twist it to give yourself a nice long piece of adhesive that you can wrap around whatever you're wanting to outline on your image. Or of course you could do a straight strip of adhesive to emboss on. There's lots of different designing opportunities with that little technique. So the next step is our pretty flourishes that I've made. These are actually flourishes that I made cut files for, and I'm going to try to offer those to you on our blog as well. So if you use Make the Cut or other software programs that allow you to cut the SVGs, then you'll be able to use our flourish. But I'm just going to attach it with a little glue dot and attach the second one. You can see that pushing the item onto the glue dot is a little bit easier sometimes than trying to press the glue dot down on just your decorative piece. On my project that I did, I also added a button here in the corner, and so we're going to do that today here too. I found that I really don't like the look of the button without the thread, and so for this one I pulled out some red thread, but I like to use the little needle threader for adding thread to my buttons. Sometimes we forget about some of those extra little tools that we have sitting around, and this one sure makes it handy to get the threads through little things like this that you're trying to do. So if you don't have a needle threader, go grab one. They're super cheap in the sewing sections at Walmart and Hobby Lobbies and different craft stores that you like to go to. My thread got kind of tattered on the end there, so anyway, just try to pull it through the other side and then tie it in a knot on the top to kind of finish off your button like that. I'm not going to take the time to tie it because my videos have a tendency of getting to be really long, and I'm trying to cut them down for you so you don't have so much to watch. I'm just going to grab a glue dot to put on the back of my button. I'm grabbing kind of the pop-up dot, the bigger, thicker dot, because my button is kind of hollow and thick in there, and I want to make sure that it sticks. And so we'll just attach it right to the front like that. Now we're ready to decorate the back. And for the back, we're also going to offer you this sentiment, this freebie, and we're going to attach the Letters to Santa tag and the year. If you want to make one of these and have it be for many years, you can leave the year off and just keep putting your Letters to Santa in. And I thought that I would decorate the top and bottom with a little bit of ribbon. This is a nice little trick too if you don't want to use a whole lot of ribbon, or if you have some ribbon scraps. Just cut a little piece of ribbon, decorate the edge of it, set it underneath the edge of your item, and attach it. And then it looks as if your ribbon goes all the way through, but you've just used a tiny little piece of ribbon instead of a full long piece. So I cut my edges like that. There we go. And then I just have a little piece of score tape on the back that I've already added before to again try to make the video just go a little bit quicker for you. And so we'll attach it on the other side and make it look like it lines up there. And now we're ready to attach this tag piece to the back. And because these tags kind of extend past the circle of the container that we're using, I found it's easier just to attach the adhesive to the center part and press it on that way rather than trying to adhere it to all of the edges. So there is our container, all completed and decorated and ready for the Letters to Santa. On the inside of this one, you'll see that I've already inserted one of the forms, and I will be giving you this file as well so that you'll be able to print it off and give it to the kids to fill out their letters. This top line is for the date. They can fill in what they want from Santa and sign it, and then stuff it away for keepsakes and for fun things to look at family Christmas and years to come. So I hope that you learned something and learned some fun techniques. And I hope that you'll try to make these. Again, if you do, we'd love to see them. We love to see what you make, and we love to hear from you. So email us or send us a letter, and I hope you enjoyed the video.